Water or glass. I treat them the same. They feel the same to me. Um, let's start off with water droplets. So, yep, you have your droplet, and if you just kind of like scribble, kind of like this, and like thicken up your edges, and then have them thin. It's like really just a mess. And you take like a lighter color, and you kind of go like in between the dark spots you made, and like that. You take a lighter color and maybe change up the actual color. So I'm going for like a more brighter blue. And you just kind of scribble this in there too. And the middle should be pretty pale. And you just keep going. And then you take your white and then you create like a larger shadow. And I just kind of mess around until it looks like what I want. And that's a water droplet ish. Sometimes they change. Let me show you guys an example. Normally they're really small, so you guys can't really tell. Let me pull up my water dress. That one has probably the best example of water. Man, I drew that drawing right when I was first starting streaming. I think my computer crashed a few times. It's old. Here it is. Okay, I'll move it up to the side. So here you can see I have scribbled, and it's like the same scribble. Yeah. And oops. And okay, let's analyze like the actual water this time. Um, so let's say we have something pink behind it, and we want to make water. And water isn't normally blue; it doesn't have to be. I just choose blue because that's universal language for water. Do you suggest a bit of blur? Yeah, of course. Like here, I definitely blurred it out some bits. So, but for water droplets, I don't really care too much, so I just kind of scribble them, and then I'll blur them out if I need to. If I want to, I can like soften it up, and then, you know, I'm lazy, so I don't. No one really notices, anyways. Let's say there's like something pouring over top this, right? I'm gonna have like a stream of water going over this pink background. So the edges of your water are probably gonna be your darkest. And you can see that I've sectioned off my water a bit. You can see that I have like a chunk here. And like there's another chunk over here, and you can see that because the dark lines. And we're gonna do the same over here. So I have my dark lines, and I'm gonna go lighter. In the middle, here. Try not to cover your center too much. Thank you for the follow, Asada CEO. And then sometimes I like make these triangles just to show that the water is not perfect. And to give direction, you can add little lines. Like you can see that I've also created lines on this side where I show that the water is flowing down. And you guys kind of see that when you like have a sink, you see that there is a little texture to the water. But it's like not something you have to think about all the time. Just fill it in with like different shades of water. Sometimes I use the watercolor brushes. So it's just soften up the edges. And make it darker here. There's like, I always put like a little gap right here sometimes. Just to show that there's more body to it. And it's just a whole bunch of different lines. And then for this like pink part, I'm actually gonna go into the pink color and then get like a darker version of the pink and do the same thing that I was telling you guys about the water being darker in some places, but make it like pink so it looks like the water is actually going through the pink as well. Lighter. And then this part I blended out. And then it's important for this one to have highlights to show that it is water. I have some big ones, some long ones, some little ones. And yeah, that's it. And you see that the pink is smeared up a little higher too, and it's kind of smeared down here. And you have some blue running through the pink just to show that there's some thicker parts of the water. And then maybe let's do like a glass object, right? So a glass object, let's say we have a cube. For the corners, make it like really thick. And then kind of, you can go inside right here too. Just like focus on the very edges being more emphasized, but don't go into the middle because it makes it less clear. So you have kind of like this going on. Take your lighter colors, do the same thing. Let me switch to a watercolor brush so it softens out. And then for glass objects, you can kind of go in the middles as well. But only for the, I would say, the lighter colors. And oh, thank you for the follow, Psycho. And then we just kind of blendy. And then that's kind of like a rough kind of cube. I learned a lot of this from doing perfume bottles. I did perfume bottles, just like a quick one a long time ago. Let me see if I can find it. I feel like I did it on my other drawing the app. I feel like I did it on Medibang Paint. You guys might have to give me a second to find it. I drew it really long time ago, but I suggest taking a look at oh no, I drew them here. Okay, so I studied some perfume bottles. As you can see, it's quite a mess, but this is one of them. They are not imported actually. These are all the default pens. So this is probably like the opaque watercolor. I think I also used in the realistic, I used the like flat stuff. So a lot of these brushes are also flat ones. So they have a weird angle. Thank you for the follow. Oreo Cheerio. This one is one of the more complicated looking ones. Let me find the other ones. And this was for like Motatsushi themed perfume, and I was just looking stuff up online, and I guess I just wanted to try it. They actually did come out with perfumes. This is another one that I made, and we wanted it to look like one of the alcohol jars, so I studied some gray glass. And you see like there's a lot of white here. You focus around the edges for the darker parts. You see that it's darker right here, lighter in the middle, and it's like spotted. Okay, it's not like a lot of one whole chunk, but it's in little bits. And same thing for different shapes. Just make sure wherever you do your line art, like your line art is here, so you just pretend that you're just creating messy line art. Let me find another one. I think I did the bunnies as well. Yeah, I did this like golden bunny, and this one is also a reference, but yeah, same concept. You have the edges that are quite dark and like some blobs in the middle. Emphasize the shape using the dark edges. And then you can go in a bit right here. And then I had like a piece of fluff here, so I emphasized it using this. Ta-da! And yeah, when you're doing the shadow, make sure that the edges is the same concept, just like a lot lighter. The edges and then the center is pretty blank. But if you want to do glass and water, study your perfume bottles. It's a good way to cheat. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I'm glad you got any questions.